Hey guys, welcome back to the Vid-Bits. My name is Brian. I'll be hanging out with you playing some Kid Icarus Angel Land story for the Nintendo Entertainment System. We are doing this in preparation for the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition coming out Thursday, July 18th. Finding ourselves in the Nintendo Switch Online library is a great way to practice the 13 games that are being offered in the minigame compilation. Thursday, we got Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3 with the Lost Levels as well, so the 4 Mario games, Metroid, Ice Climber, Excite Bike, Donkey Kong, Zelda 1 and 2, Kid Icarus, Balloon Fight, and Kirby Adventure, totaling over 156 microgame challenges throughout those, and finding us on the Nintendo Switch Online, there's all 13 of the offerings in full glory for you to go through, and as you can see, we've been doing this for about the past month, going through the games in a systematic way to tackle them from the ones that we're most familiar with now to the ones that we're having the most difficulty with coming up in the week leading up to the competition, so that we can be freshest with those skills, the ones that we need to be the most familiar with. So that's what we're going to be doing, is proceeding with some more Kid Icarus. Feel free to hang out with us during that. After that, there'll be a lengthy Elden Ring session from about 3:15ish to 7:15ish EST today. Then we'll have a Pac-Man Energizer Hour after that. Following them, we'll do a couple hours, about an hour and a half or so of NES Remix 2. Then about 10:30 AST, we should be hitting up Braden, be starting his adventure, trying to get one of the lengthier games that are offered in the competition. Kirby's Adventure, which is actually offered the second highest amount of minigames, 21, in the competition, and he'll be starting his quest to beat that this evening around 10:30. Give a good hour and a half in that. Then stick around after midnight for some Destiny 2 Iron Banner as we hit the other mode of Iron Banner that was offered this season for the last day it's offering before reset. The first offering at the final shape, and then closing out late night. There could be some sleeplessness or some sleeplessness action, and that'll be your programming day for July 15th, 2024. Also know at any given time there could be some random Pac-Man stuff later, depending if the season did change today or tomorrow, but we are wrapping up Season 1 of Pac-Man Megatonal Battle Chomp Champs, and I'm super excited about that because if you're following our journey, we should be officially declared champion of the world as the first Season 1 winner of Pac-Man Megatonal Battle Chomp Champs for the next 24 hours, so super psyched for that. So just give me a minute to get myself some hydration and whatnot, but we're going to go ahead and give us about an hour, a little bit less probably, because we've been hitting up in sleeplessness and channel surfing and all kinds of stuff. But as far as a dedicated offering and showing you the skills that we've been able to attain so far, expect that to start here in just about 3 minutes. definitely one of those games I waited a little bit longer to get into because I knew that it's, I like this game a lot. I think that it's got really good speedrun potential. I watched Icarus do it, and he's got a really good mind for how to tackle a speedrun game as far as like his pace, you know, his expectations. He actually is the first person that I watched that made me realize that when you're doing a run, right, you're gonna have an expectation as to what you want for your time. But like, if you start a run, you'll see typically with the Vid-Bits, if we don't think it's within like our personal best, we'll call it a wipe and we'll restart. If he's feeling that he wants to still do a run, and he knows what his personal best is, he'll still do the run he's doing, but he'll adjust his expectations. He'll say, okay, well, I think I'm feeling a 33. And he'll still do the run, knowing instead if his best time's at 32 or something, that he'll still do the run knowing that he's doing a run that's going to get him a 33, and he's still getting the muscle memory of doing the run, the satisfaction of not having to make his viewers watch him wipe over and over and over again to get a satisfying start. And this does have like caveats to it, like a Zelda run, I have to get a bomb drop. Like a Zelda run to me, I'm not going to start a Zelda run for you guys without the bomb drop, because that's really the only variance now that I've found in my Zelda 1 runs, is my bomb drop. So, and I've looked it up, and like that's the main statistical variance as to what starts a run at what time versus another. So I know that when I'm doing my runs, you'll see me wipe until I get the bomb. That's hilarious. And I watched Icarus do this very run, and he actually does like a running sliding crouch into that door because he almost always gets there with 1 hit of health too. So it's not even like uncommon to get up there with that little health. But like, to know now as a runner that I shouldn't always just like think it's a wash or a wipe, and that sometimes getting to the later levels, it sucks on my Zelda 1 run now that I get nervous at the end. The end is like where I should be like, oh my god, I have this much extra time, just play through like you would normally play through calmly, and instead I'm like, oh, let's run around the map and do a bunch of dumb stuff now. Let's eat up all of the extra time. And instead, like, that's the time I should be calmest, where he's the type of person where even at the beginning, if his run starts to like alter where his pace is, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to go with a 33 this time, or like a 32. And still go for the run and still enjoy the run and the length of the run, and being able to give his viewers the satisfaction of watching it, and you know, not wipe all the time. Because there is stuff to be said about getting through like the later game stuff that you won't be able to see except for one time every time you do a run. And if it's a 20-minute game or a 30-minute game, is it really benefiting you to continue to hone into that first part that you got perfected, and then not know how to deal with the pressures of getting to you know, the harder parts of the run, like the parts me and Bray were discussing Mario 64 speedruns, and like, okay, you can set the whole thing up beautifully, but if the boss, same thing with the DuckTales run, if the boss fight is the not favorable thing at the very end of the run, like, then you're in a situation where your whole run is affected dramatically due to that fact that, you know, you are not clutching up the end of it. So it's really cool that on Nintendo Switch Online and stuff like that, how you have the ability to save state, and you can literally practice the parts of the run that are giving you the most difficulty and not have to do the whole thing every time per se. And I appreciate that for sure, the ability to do that. Alright, I really want to daisy chain the goblets of wine a little bit better.
You died again?
Yep, right there at the end. I'm being sloppy, just trying to talk and stuff. the main takeaway from this first part, and that's going to be one of the challenges. I've seen they did like a old school video commercial for it, where it's like somebody's calling a Nintendo gameplay counselor, and they're talking about having trouble with Kid Icarus, and it's funny, and they're talking about this challenge or whatever. So one of the challenges is to get to the top as fast as possible. And the goal is to auto-scroll this part. You want to just auto-scroll it by just making sure the platform is really fast, and if you're fast enough there, it'll keep going. But you also want to chalk up here with the end pixel of those platforms so that you don't accidentally go in that door. And you can get hit by some enemies, but not too many. So it is going to be part of the strategy to not take out all the enemies to get to the top as fast as possible. But if you're seeing the auto-scrolling thing happening, like the commercial says, then you know that you're in the right ballpark. And if you go fast enough, that Reaper will get spawned in that block, because I guess they spawn so far up as the vertical platformer that he's trying to drop into a spot that is going to put him in the middle of a brick. And there's the end of it. There's stage 1-1. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. So again, like the commercial that they did said, you're going to try to auto-scroll the stage as fast as possible. If you feel like you need to get hit a couple times, it makes sense. Know that you can get hit more in the beginning, because in the beginning there is a wine. As long as you're like, over half of your health is still there, that wine is going to fill you back up. The main enemies that you have to worry about are the Reapers, or the Reaper summons. See how I kept it going? That's the goal. I'm sure the best people can keep it going up here and keep it going there too, and that's probably the difference between like an S tier and a A in that game, mini game. The other guy didn't even show up this time. Oh, there he is. The good thing is, Pit controls as well as you want him to, I promise you. Like, he definitely controls well. There's floatiness to the jumps, but you can control yourself in the jump, so... Now the real goal, if you're actually trying to beat this game, is you're wanting to get get here fast enough and kill enough enemies that you have a hidden score high enough that when you get to the top of this stage, you'll get an arrow power-up that will make you a lot more powered. I just have not been good enough to do it yet. This is usually where they stop and grind some enemies in this area here. You can get hit by him if you want, because you got that. Oh, I jumped early. Now make sure that you don't hold down on those platforms, because they will just drop you straight through. Oh, and that's it. That's how simply you're finished. Oh, I did it again. those guys do a lot of damage, so if you feel like you have to take them out, then I would, because it doesn't matter how well you are at the platforming if you're not surviving because of the health reasons. I promise you the game gets easier as you go. The difficult parts of the dungeons and the first 1 through 3 platforming, actually 1 and 1-2 are your barrier to entry here. Once you play this game and you've defeated the first 2 stages and you've come to the grips of how to navigate the labyrinths and deal with the eggplant wizards, the game gets easier and easier, which is an amazing testament to how reverse difficulty could create a barrier to entry that prohibits some people from even trying a game like this. I remember I just didn't have the dexterity to actuate the game correctly when I was a kid, is really what it was. Like, I knew what I needed to do, I just couldn't do it. And there's something to be said about that too. Like, it is hard. It is Nintendo hard, you know, and they're really pushing everything they can in there to make the game have as much as possible, but also then sometimes, you know, I think Bray was talking about it when he was playing Metroid, like, trying to put stuff in there to give you an increased arsenal also can make it so that in some ways the game is difficult. Like, you know, you get screw attack later in the game and it makes it so your jump arc is adjusted, but you're used to jumping in a specific arc type the entire way, and then they double that in with the difficulty of making you escape and do pixel perfect jump inputs on a situation where your jump arc is now changed because you're not used to relying in the screw attack as landing your jump. So, you know, putting all that against you at the end is just like an extra layer of difficulty that I don't know is necessarily as intended, or just because of the consequence of them wanting you to be in screw attack mode to get out of there. I don't know. I did enjoy this Kids' Choice Awards on Saturday night. Saturday night was good. Saturday night you watched Haseen, was it? Did you watch? Oh, I'm sorry, I died. It doesn't matter. Did you watch? Was it on Saturday Night Rampage? Or is that Collision? That's Collision, right? Collision on Saturday nights? I heard that they stripped the Bang Bang Gang of the Trios titles because Jay White's hurt, which sucks. I really haven't been keeping up with it as much as I was just because I've been so busy with the channel, but I do still passively keep up with their big angles and watch all their pay-per-views. I feel like the Hangman Adam Page splitting away from the Elite is just like a swerve thing. I think they're gonna he's gonna be an even bigger dick when he wins the title and he's probably gonna beat, you know, Bryan Danielson. No, he didn't beat him. He lost to him, didn't he? In the finals of that tournament. There's still hell to pay with that, probably still, I don't know. Hangman Page is an ostracizing character because he could have been the one that cost the company CM Punk because of it making it personal, but then again, that's neither here nor there. You did enjoy it too? Awesome, man. Yeah, wrestling right now in 2024 is hotter than it's ever been. Literally, I know I'm not a shill, but WWE is literally the hottest ticket it's ever been. They have the most buzz around what they're doing. They're doing a really good job finally merging social media aspects into their programming so that you don't know whether or not they're playing the fans or not. I think to an extent they're very knowledgeable as to what the fans think they quote-unquote know. So I think they're now starting to lean into that. So it almost blurs the line even more by doing that, where they're able to do some really cool things because we think that we know, and then they lean into the things that we think that we know, then we think that we were right, and then we're just playing right into their hands, which is awesome. TV Slammiversary is coming up on Saturday night, and NXT versus Worlds collide after church. That's cool, man. I was really getting into NXT when they were the Black and Gold brand and Triple H was running it. I was really starting to get into that, and then unfortunately Vince got his hand on it and kind of like undid a lot of the cool things that Triple H and Hunter were or Triple H and Hunter, Triple H and Shawn Michaels were doing with that. And now that Triple H runs pretty much the Big Show and Shawn Michaels gets to run NXT, it's been doing really well. Oh, Blood and Guts next Wednesday night. That'll be great. That's always a really great show that they do for free. I feel like they're really trying to capitalize on that old school mentality of like when WCW used to give you a lot of really great wrestling during the week for free. But then, unfortunately, in that case, it kind of like then made it so that the pay-per-views didn't mean as much when you just saw a cage match for free on Wednesday night or Thursday night, and then they were trying to like sell like a big gimmick match on the pay-per-view that week too. Like they kind of, what they said, they used to say like you show your hand too early, do everything too early, and then it doesn't have as much impact. But I do love a good cage match. Blood and Guts has usually been pretty good, with the exception of that one where MJF pushed Jericho off and he fell into that styrofoam shit a couple of years ago. That wasn't very good. Wasn't a very good look. And it's like nobody wanted Jericho to fall off the top of the cage and hit his head on the steel. But then again, I didn't need it exposed that it was like fake steel with styrofoam underneath it. I didn't need that either. Alright, there's a jump, and we're going to jump to this guy here and wait. And then a jumpity. Oh, and then don't hold down, like I told you not to. Don't push down there. That's what happens, you sink through those platforms. It's like inaccessibility to make you be able to have the freedom of like navigation. They let you fall through platforms, but then also they let you fall through platforms. So like if you're on one and you think that you're gonna like hold down or down and towards to like be preemptive for some sort of maneuver or whatever, don't do that. Don't do what I just did there. Like those platforms I can fall through. The bricks, you can do that. You won't fall through brick. But anything else, pretty much, it's subject to you figuring it out. But yeah, me and Bray went to a AEW show a couple years ago for his 16th birthday, and like when MJF's music hit, and he wasn't even as big as he is now, he was still getting pretty big as far as like his entity goes. But when his music hit, between the music rattling the place and like people going off, it was one of the. It just lets me know like how big he's actually going to be when they let him. I don't know when I don't want to say when they let him. When either the company gets big enough to showcase him at that level because he's already there, or he goes to someplace that can showcase him at that level because he's already there. That makes sense. I'm not saying that. I mean, I think he just signed a contract extension or whatever, so I'm not expecting him to leave AEW anytime soon. But man, AEW needs to get big enough to showcase the man as good as he is. Because if it doesn't happen, it's going to be a shame that he's going to have to wait that entire contract to run out before he can go be showcased where he actually is good. It's Monday Night Raw and 2 weeks left on SummerSlam. Cleveland Browns next, and then Cleveland Browns and NXT American Bash coming up. 2 weeks left. Well, I appreciate letting me know, Haseen. It's cool that you like wrestling and video games. Me too. And there's a lot of wrestlers that love that people like wrestling and video games too. They're doing quite well for themselves on their outside sources of being able to, there's a lot of downside as a wrestler when you're not in a gym, going to the next town, or, eating to stay in the ability to stay training. Like, there's downside there, and it's good that the culture now has allowed the video game culture and the wrestling culture to be one, because it used to not be. It used to be like given a lot of crap being in the back of the console or whatever, and then eventually, because the locker room leaders just didn't understand it, and they were thinking that means you weren't respecting the business by like spending more time learning about your craft. Because to be granted, some of the people should have been hitting the gym instead of hitting the console. Some of the people could have been learning more about how to be better wrestlers and hitting the console. So that at that point, unfortunately, they made sense. But now, since we've gotten to the point where some of the people that are world champions also play Xbox and PlayStation, and they're like, oh, it's okay now. They're got an 8-pack abs and they're world champions, so they can show me that I can do both, which is awesome, because that stigma really wasn't helping. Xavier Woods and his Up Down crew, Tyler Breeze, Claudio Castagnoli still does some stuff. Adam Cole's always doing some stuff, never really getting the reach I would think that an Adam Cole would get, because his personality is awesome, and Austin does a really good job letting his true self come through on his gaming streams, even more so than you'd see his personality in the ring. But I think, unfortunately for us, we're not gonna, I don't want to speak for Adam Cole, but I feel like he's already trying to get himself ready for, in case his body can't hold up for the longevity for the wrestling career that he wishes he could have, that he can have that extra thing to jump into. He was one of the first people that was really affected when WWE was like, oh, you can't do that as well anymore, and he was really starting to get his footing on it, and also still doing all the responsibilities. But what it was they just didn't like that people were starting to get over on their own, and they never really wanted people to have an out on their own. So when they could just say, hey, contract renegotiation time, we're not really using you, but we're going to sign you again for less, right? And they're like, no, man, I'm just going to go off and be a streamer now. I'm just going to go off and do this other thing. And so we're in a day and age where the climate now is better, where people can start doing those things, and it's appreciated, because as independent contractors, which wrestlers are technically classified as, they should be able to go off and independently contract doing other things on their off time, but that's not how it works. It's the independent contract was strictly as a technicality to get them to avoid certain health violations and stupid shit.
Don't want to pay for their health insurance. Like, the whole thing is they're beating the shit out of themselves as like an entertainment spectacle, and you don't want to pay for their health costs.
Oh, not only that, but they'll pay for their surgeries, but you can only get surgery when they think that it's necessary. So if a doctor tells you should get surgery, it doesn't matter. Their staff doctors need to say, yeah, you should go ahead and get that surgery, because Lord knows that they still have expectations for you. It's definitely different now. I don't want to speak to that being like that now. Triple H has done a really good job. Paul Triple H Levesque has done a really good job changing that. Changing the whole culture of that, and getting it so that they have more time off. People aren't spending as much time in the ring anymore. So there's that. There's not nearly as many dates per year, and there's that. So. But like I was saying, I'm glad that people like Adam Cole have the ability to transition into doing something, like if they want to be a full-time streamer or a video game player, he can. Austin Creed, Xavier Woods, they're really awesome. They're really great wrestler, but they're really great in the gaming community. They got a chance to be on the revitalized G4 before that got shut down again. Unfortunately, that was just not timed out very well. I don't think that was really thought out extremely well. Today's climate is different. We're almost in a disposable climate where people don't even want things physically anymore. They want to be able to imbibe them either digitally or get them once or twice and then throw them away when they're done with it or whatever. The purchasing power shows that. It's not a conspiracy thing. People show those things with how they spend their money. So if people are no longer buying Blu-rays, then it shows people that having a model where their release on Blu-ray is part of it is not a sustainable business model in the new climate. So, it's all about being able to have your finger on the pulse of that and whether or not that makes sense. But streaming, I feel like in general allows people to instantly be entertained at the timing of the user, either the person providing the entertainment or the person that's trying to watch it. So I like the easeability of it, and luckily people have gotten to the point where they're accepting content that's just more maximum right now, pow, boom, and less super produced and edited to the point where if it's not content, then you wasted time doing all that, when it's really just someone wants to see you actuate some gameplay and talk for a while. It doesn't have to be super scripted all the time. It doesn't have to be super serious all the time. Sometimes situations lend themselves to it, and you can do it because it's just topical, and other times we're lucky enough where the right time and the right place happen, and that's when we can do it too. I know as a content creator, I was always intimidated by when I should be doing something versus when somebody else did, and that should never be. Really, to me, if the content is like art, you should be doing it because you want to do it, and if you're not wanting to do it, then you shouldn't do it, and you should always do it for the reason that you're personally passionate about it, and not for the money. Like, it shouldn't be for the money. It should be for the art, for the fact that you want to do it. And with that, we did finish 1-2. Alright. But again, coming up today, later on, we have Elden Ring from around 3:15, 3:30 to 4 to 7:15, 7:30, somewhere around there. Nice 3.5, 4-hour session of Elden Ring. After that will be the Pac-Man Megaton Battle Chomp Champs Energizer Hour, which is about 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. EST. It's the recap show for all the leaderboards for Season 1 of Pac-Man Megaton Battle Chomp Champs. We MC that show, because we are your reigning, defending, undisputed Season 1 Chomp Champs. So when Season 1 is over, either later today or tomorrow, we will be declared the winner globally of that season, which is awesome. We do an MC show for that. And like I said, it'll be 7:30 to 8:30 tonight. After that, I got a session of NES Remix 2 coming up with me and Bray, and we'll be rocking out some more of that. Check that out from around 8:45 or so to 10:15. That'll be NES Remix 2, where we finish up wrapping up some more of that. Followed by from 10:30 p.m. EST to midnight tonight, I'll be Braden starting Kirby's Adventure, trying to get himself acclimated to Kirby's Adventure, one of the 13 games in the NWC 2024, which is what we're training for right now. Followed by, after midnight, we should have a Destiny 2 stream where we're going to play some more Iron Banners, the different mode of Iron Banner. Last week it was Control. This week I can't remember, I think it's Domination or something, where you get more points based on how many of these crest things that you're holding. Either way, I have this really cool emblem that I want to get that me and Bray are going to be working on, because he already got his, but I still have to get mine to pop, and that resets tomorrow, so we'll be doing that. And then ending up the day with some, it's either going to be Sleeplessness, Zelda 2, that kind of stuff. More Nintendo, more likely than not. More Nintendo, maybe a little bit of Super Nintendo, to end your day. So, Elden Ring, Energizer Hour, NES Remix 2, Kirby's Adventure, Destiny 2, then some more Nintendo for the end of the day. Hopefully you guys will be sticking around with that. And I just want to kind of give you a heads up, post a menu after I finish the stream. This is the challenge one. Nope. Just trying to get acclimated to how Pit moves, controls, shoots, you know, it's literally just getting used to how he is. Alright, let me dial in here. I can do these stages, I just was trying to do them fast. Another little auto-scrolling section here. Leave me alone, giant squids. No. Oh, look how close it was. so hyped for Thursday, though, guys. We're gonna get the game early. We're gonna play it early by getting it digitally. So I'm not saying early, but you know, we won't be waiting retail Thursday morning like everybody else will be. Going digitally live with it Wednesday night. As soon as it's active, we can pre-download and all that jazz. And I'd be super excited to be able to see where everybody lies within the first couple hours of active competition. And obviously, whatever that session ends at will not be the definitive places everybody will be settling in for that first week. But we'll all be able to say that first night, you know, where we landed. And I'll be happy to have a bunch of temporary placements that are really high because of the small people that will be playing it at launch. But I have heard that the boards may be already, you know, kind of set with some people that have gotten it early, and to that I say, anybody that's playing this game early needs to be punished. Punish them. Punish, punish, punish. I mean, if you're a review copy and you got it legitimately, then I get it, but like, if you broke Street Day, I mean, that's cheap, because I would love to have it early too, but we don't. We're playing all the original games on Nintendo Switch Online, NES Mini, original hardware, all of that stuff, so that we can get practice for when this game comes out on Thursday. And that's what we've been doing for almost a month now, practicing the older games and getting ready so that we can get our skills. Luckily, we're classically trained, played Nintendo since the 80s, and you know, it's just been a blessing just to be able to find a way in the current climate to expose these games to other people, or you know, have fun with them in a way where I'm getting any type of traction with it at all, because if you're like, who wants to watch somebody play some Nintendo, like that's been done to death. And like, you know, now there's a reason why people are playing it in a competitive online atmosphere, and I think that's awesome. It's so cool. Ugh. You gotta run to the end of that, but you don't want to jump into it. And then those guys are just gonna be the pain you have to deal with, so. How come he's able to keep up? Oh man, I was almost there. I said that 1-1 and 1-2 was harder, but it's because I'm just being sloppy. You just have to like start being more, there's no health on here unless you go buy it, I think. So you have to be more careful in your platforming on the way up. Now, Kid Icarus has 9 challenges on the NWC 2024 NES edition, so they're probably going to be more towards escalating things. I hope that they're not all super easy. I hope that ascending 1-1 isn't like the ultimate challenge, because I don't think it is. It only takes like 30 seconds to do it. But yeah, it's only going to have 9 challenges for Kid Icarus. The most is 25 for Super Mario 3, 21 for Kirby's Adventure is the second highest. But we want all the old school Badge of Honor ones for sure. The Zeldas, the Marios, Kid Icarus. Those are the ones we picked that we were going to go for super hard. It's my fault for hitting those freaking spikes every time. Lame. So I'm sure like difficult stuff like this, like honestly, they can have only 9 challenges and that's fine. Like if it's get the top of 1-1, that's a challenge. Fastest time, get on top of 1-2, like you can do each of these stages pretty fast. But like it's just like learning 1-1 is probably more because you can daisy chain off wine goblets and get up there with pretty much taking hits the entire time. Versus a stage like this, it's the difficult platforming, but also trying to make sure that you don't let too many enemies get on top of you, because then they're going to constantly be nagging you all the way up and prevent you from having enough health to get through the hard parts here at the end. So you can go right or left. Let's go right this time since we keep getting hit going left here. Alright. Can't stand still too long when you get up here closer to the top. That was the other thing. It's like it's their way to get you to keep on moving. And that's another reason why I guess I probably got to the point where I felt like I had to keep on going. Because you can't stay stagnant too long, or like the little guys will come up in the ground and get you. I could have just nabbed that in the first try, it would have been way better. Ugh. I really was trying not to trigger that dude so his friends would not come. Oh, I shouldn't have gone for that at all. Whew. Hey, Reaper baby. Oh. I'm enduring it. I'm enduring it. I'm enduring it. I don't know why I did that. Why'd I do that? No, I can't. And he calls you a weakling if you go in there and you don't do it either. God, why are there so many of these guys? See, look at how much damage that guy did because I was standing there trying to shoot at those guys. Now I can't pretty much take any hits at all. That's pretty much a wash. That's what it is. I just need to do a shallow jump so I land on it. I'd at least like to get to the dungeon. I mean, I did last time I sessioned it, so let's not say that we've gone backwards in what we've learned here. The cool thing is Nintendo World Championships 2024 NES Edition is designed to make you a better classic Nintendo player. It's got tips from the pros in it. I mean, it's literally having you compete with some of these people and some of the hardest things that's ever been done as far as some of the gaming accomplishments goes, with people that were doing them when they were going live with these things. Advice from them, you know, leaderboards that everybody's like competing against each other on. It's just such a fun throwback to 1990, and I'm just thankful that I get to see something that hopefully, come on Brian, hopefully see this off and do awesome, you know, in it, but also see everybody have fun and see the resurgence of fun with gaming with that. Come on, man, I really just want to get up here one more time. Yeah, that's what I wanted you to do. Oh. Alright guys, I got about two more goes, and I'm just trying to get to the freaking dungeon, but I got a little worked up about some stuff earlier, and yeah, I just derailed my mojo. I got to learn to stop getting passionate about stuff that's not the game in question. See how much they can kill you? Oh god. Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. Alright guys, last coin drop. That's ridiculous. Last coin drop, guys. Don't stop, don't stop. You got this. Even if I don't get this to stream, know that I am making progress on this game, and I will have this game defeated, hopefully within the week. You know, just doing a little bit of training up here and there, and learning the nuances of some of the later stages, obviously, is coming up. But just the biggest part is just getting through this intro part here. Shouldn't get hit already that many times. Micro input platforming the game. Oops. Pretty much screwed, but you might as well try anyways, because we're here and I said last coin drop, which means that the last coin has been dropped. Hey, what's up, Namrom? What's up with the piggy? Namrom the Mormon. Nope, can't do that. Can't jump from one to the other, like that, without chalking up the distance here. I didn't want him to see me so bad. And that last guy took me out. Alrighty, with that being said, it'll be the end of Kid Icarus today. But I do suggest that you guys give this game a whirl. It is very fun. You can play it on the Nintendo Switch Online in its full glory if you don't have the original hardware and you can't dig it up. Play it on Nintendo Switch Online. It's also included on the Nintendo Switch Mini. No, we are not Nintendo sponsored. We just love Nintendo. They are one of the reasons why the North American video game market was revitalized, and from things like Duck Hunt all the way up to, I don't know, let's say Splatoon. They have been trying their best to give you all the entertainment that they possibly can, and, you know, in their own unique Nintendo-y way. But I hope that you guys are looking forward to the Nintendo World Championships 2024 as much as we are at the Vid-Bits. We were practicing some Kid Icarus with the 9 challenges that are going to be included in compilation for Kid Icarus. I felt it was worthy to challenge myself to try to get through the whole game before the compilation comes out. But it'll be a compilation worthy of your time, as it's showing 13 of Nintendo's wonderful games out for you in micro game compilations, from Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, and the Lost Levels, Metroid, Ice Climber, Excite Bike, Donkey Kong, Zelda 1 and 2, Kid Icarus, Balloon Fight, and Kirby's Adventure. You'll be able to play 150 micro games, ranking up on the leaderboards and challenging people all across the globe. So hopefully you're catching the fever for Nintendo World Championships as much as we're trying to put it out there for you. Thank you so much, Namrom Ad Enum, aka MacLeod da Mormon, hanging out with us with the Nintendo Wave. Appreciate you. We'll be back later on today. Coming up next is an Elden Ring stream from around 3:15 to 7:15 p.m. EST, followed by Pac-Man Megaton Battle Chomp Champs Energizer Hour at 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. EST, and we're going to have NES Remix 2 from 8:45 to 10:15 p.m. EST. Brain will be wrapping up the normal day from 10:30 to midnight with some Kirby's Adventure, and then we will be coming out together to hang out and play some Destiny 2 Iron Banner from 12:15 to around 2 or so. Then maybe stay tuned for some sleeplessness and some sleeplessness to end out our programming day. I will be posting this on our community poll. Feel free, if you're a subscriber, you'll see those on the community poll so that you'll be able to tell what all the cool stuff is happening. But until then, it's been Brian from the Vid-Bits. Thank you very much for Haseen Terrell for hanging out in chat, and Namrom Ad Enum for hanging out at the end of the chat with the waves. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you on the next one. But until then, good games, good RNG, and we hope that you guys get all of your goals. Peace.